Well, John, a goalless draw. What are your reflections on the 90 minutes?
I don't think we played anywhere near like we can. We were disappointed with our performance last week. We got the win. Started off really bright, had a couple of good chances, didn't take them, and then surrendered possession very cheaply. We made a couple of decent chances in the second half, but couldn't take them. And then I think they've had the lion's share the last 25 minutes. On another day, probably a couple of months ago, we might have lost that game. So, got to take the positive of the clean sheet, and we were resilient defending, but we brought our own problems on by not keeping the ball well enough in their half, by not switching the play better, by not passing the ball better, by not controlling the ball better. So we weren't good today, but you know we know we can play better. And the pleasing point is that we were resilient and didn't concede, which when you're not playing well, that's always a danger that you go under, and we didn't. We showed a lot of character to do that. Keepers made a great save late on. And so we've got to build on 2 clean sheets on the bounce. And we've got to go in and think about next week and think about how we can play better going forward.
How much of your performance do you put down to the way that Grimsby harried and stopped you from playing versus just your own players not finding top gear today?
I think it did well. We had a few new players in, probably, you know, quite keen and eager to impress. But you know, if we score like we should do in the first couple of minutes, I think that goes out the window. We give them too much encouragement by our sloppy play, I thought. But that's not taking anything away from them, because I thought they played well. I thought they pressed us well. They didn't give us time on the ball. And they picked up second balls a lot better than what we did. In the last 20 minutes, they were better than us. So, you know, give them a round of applause for that. But we shouldn't really be concentrating on the opposition. We should be concentrating on what we can do and how we're playing. I know we can play better than that. The lads only can play better than that. But you can show that they care, or they've showed that they care, and they're throwing themselves in front of things late on. And as I said, we know we can play better, and we've got to play better.
You did come under pressure, as you say, in that second half, though, John. But is that a sign of the developing maturity of this young side, that you've been able to be resilient enough to hold Grimsby out when you're under the cosh for quite a long period?
Well, it is, and if you think about it, the only save our keeper's made is a great save late on for the header. So we've restricted them to barely any shots on goal. We'd like to have had more ourselves.
Radek Vitek looked very assured throughout the game, and as you say, John, right at the end, a really good save to preserve the point.
Well, you know, he'll be delighted. That's 2 clean sheets on the bounce. He's at the ground running, coming to us. He's mingles with the lads. He's integrated really well. So I think it'll be a good move for both parties. And we've got to look at how we can be better. So we're always trying to be better. You know, there's a thing about trying to drive the club forward and trying to drive us forward. And people only buy into what we're going to do going forward. So anything we've done in the past, yeah, it's great to look back, and you can inform yourself from what you've done in the past, and that can maybe eliminate mistakes. But ultimately, people want to know what you're going to do going forward, and we've got to be positive that we're going to go forward and hurt teams and score goals and create chances. And when we're playing at home, you know, get the crowd on the edge of the seats. I don't think we did enough for that today. So we've got to have a vision of how we're going to play going forward for the rest of the season, if we're going to be serious about challenging at the top end of the team.
You gave Jake Bickerstaff his debut today. He played for an hour. How would you assess his performance?
Yeah, it was difficult. He only came in yesterday, so you know it's. My plan wasn't to be starting him today, but you know the way illness came into the camp yesterday, it was a needs must. And I think, you know, as he gets to know the players, he'll get better.
And Joe Pritchard, just a word on him. He came on as sub, but then had to be withdrawn again. How bad was the injury?
It's just a precaution. I don't think there's anything bad on that, but we didn't want to take any chances.